structural change, and we do need to dismantle these structures with avoiding tokenism, of course, but with reservations, or in the US you call it affirmative action, and here, quota systems and things. I think we need both things, and we need to be vigilant about how they're being used, because that example of the father, the husband, just putting her up as a front is a true thing, but just because those instances are happening doesn't mean that that device is flawed. I think we need to go at it from every angle, so thank you.
Please, yes.
I have two quick questions. When J.R. Rowling wrote the Harry Potter books, she was masquerading as a man because she felt that it would sell better. But do you really think that's true? Would she not have been able to make the same impact as a woman writer? And that question is for V.V. Ganeshananthan. Was it a deliberate use of your initials to hide your sex?
Why do men get to have initials along with everything else? No, I mean, there's a long tradition of women using initials in South Asia. And if I wanted to hide my gender, I would be doing a remarkably poor job of it, actually, because, I mean, my picture is often on the cover of a book, or, right, my pronouns are very plain. Right, there is a long, actually, the initials partly come from the fact that I am South Asian. And so, it's a way to nod to that tradition. I'm also pleased to have double first initials so they sound a little cool. Sometimes it's kind of that simple that I like the aesthetic of it, actually. I will also say my last name is Ganeshananthan. I'm going to say it because I want you all to know how it is said.
Thank you. Second question for Shobha. Will there ever be anything like gender fluid writing, like we have in fashion?
It's a dream, Prasad, but I can see it happening. I can see a lot of gender fluid writers coming into their own, especially in the last 5 years. The environment is much, much more conducive right now than it has ever been. We need that one breakthrough gender fluid writer to kind of startle us and surprise us and delight us and make us think in a totally different way. And it's going to happen. I would happily predict that in the next 2 years, we're going to see an international gender fluid writer star who's really going to break new ground, and that will set the pace for the next, however many years. So for sure, it's going to happen.
Right, so we're run out of time for questions, but at this point, before we wrap up, if we were to come back to our three panelists, in terms of a takeaway, when we talk about the topic that we had today, will the last feminists turn the lights out before they leave? That was the title of this particular panel. Sugi, what would you say as the main takeaway we should have at this particular point? What do we take out of this? How do we make a difference? How do we make a change? How do we contribute to reduce the structures, remove the challenges? How could we do that?
I hope that we become better readers of each other. So affirmative action was overturned in the US relatively recently, which I personally think is a shame. And it's true that, as Shobha says, there can be backlash to things like this. And I hope also that we don't have to cede the narrative. If people who are opposed to progressive measures as such are trying to control the story about what those things do, to tell a different story, to say, I'd like to thank the commenter in the audience who referred to the Malayaha Tamil community, and I can just barely see you, I'm sorry. But thank you for your comment. I appreciated both of those. I think that to be inclusive and radical about who is included, the intersectionality that Sonora referred to before, and to be better readers of each other rather than assuming a great deal.
Professor.
I don't know where I put my mic. Oh, it's in my hand. Okay. It's like my glasses, I never know. So yes, I agree with what Sugi said, and I do think, so I was co-editor for an anthology called New South Asian Feminisms, and I think there are different kinds of feminisms, and it's only growing, and we need an expansive form of feminism that incorporates all these intersections, right? You can't be ignoring caste and class. You can't be ignoring Islamophobia. You really have to go at it, with all these intersections, because it's really important for human liberation in general, right? And peace. So I would just say that I think all of these things are growing. And for me personally, as I grow older, I'm becoming more bindas, to take a term that maybe Shobha uses. I'm just getting really more and more radical, as well as more and more like, I don't give an F, you know? So I think we need more women who don't give an F about things, and the men will just come along. An invitation to all of them to come along. And I would just say this thing that I said at Candy as well: buy women's books and gift them to the men in your lives.
That's a nice marketing thing. I think I'm going to steal your line. That's beautiful. I'm going to urge all the men in this room to quickly go and buy all books by all three of us. I don't have a great big statement about I thought, I loved the title, but it was gimmicky and wasn't really saying anything beyond, oh, it sounds really cute. You know, with the last feminist turn off the light sounded catchy, like a quirky movie being made by Tarantino or someone like that. So I liked that. I liked the idea of sharing the stage with all of you. You know, the point is that good girls do all the work, but the bad girls, the badass women, walk away with all the success and all the recognition. And most of the time, the badass women are behaving like normal men. Now we need to think about that.
Food for thought. And this is where, when we use this title, will the last feminists turn the lights out before they leave? I don't think, let alone turning the lights out, we're going to have the last feminist anytime soon, given the conversation we've had, given the discourse that we engaged in with the audience. Thank you so much for the questions that you posed to our members, and thank you very much to our three panelists. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks.